Hello, everybody. This is Josh, and we are today in episode 4 of Little York. As we went through last week through a disaster, we now are going to try to make sure that next time something like that happens, it doesn't affect our city that much, even though that's very difficult to predict and work. As we can recall, there was an earthquake that destroyed a big part of our Brian Roast Square. It left a big mark on our city, on our little square. And for right now, we're just gonna leave it like that. And I think in the future, it's actually gonna help us change the shape of this a little bit. So I don't think it was such a bad thing, except for the lives lost in the game. We continue having high demand for residential, and like I said the other day, I don't want to bring, or I don't want to zone high density, but I think in little places like this, I am gonna do it. It's not that much, it's not gonna affect it, and I think it's gonna help us in the meantime. Another thing that I'm gonna do right now is try to upgrade all these roads. That way, whenever the city starts becoming a little bit more populated, it is encouraged to bike instead of just use the car or any type of vehicle. Another thing that we have pending is the building of a bus depot and the creation of bus routes. If we can go here and see, unfortunately we don't have that much money yet, and we don't have that many loans to take advantage of, so we're gonna see what else we can do. But let me just upgrade all these roads, and we'll be continuing in just a little bit. And well, we are back. I did have to take a loan, but I'm gonna repay it right now. That way we have this available in case we need it. Let's check on electricity. We're doing well. Water, we might need to increase the budget a little bit, but we should be fine for now. Garbage, we might still have to build another landfill. It shouldn't be that expensive, but I think I'm gonna wait just a little bit more, and it's pretty well here. Education, we're doing well except for high school, and I think we are going to have to build a high school here, but unfortunately we don't have the funds to do it. We now have the access to a university and to the university campus. However, I think that as soon as I'm able to spend this much money, as opposed to this or even this, we should be able, or we should do it. I think it's a good investment overall. But first we need to make sure that we have it. And even though I said that I didn't want to start working on this, I think it's gonna be a good thing to try to get
Warning.
this.
Experts predict an earthquake could hit the area soon.
And once again, we're gonna have another earthquake. This time I am gonna evacuate all the citizens. Hopefully they take advantage of the situation. And the earthquake is gonna be on the same place as the last one. It's incredible. I think this area we shouldn't be trying to work on it anymore. I think it's not gonna be helpful. Because if this is the way that it's gonna be, then we're in for a very difficult situation. If we're gonna have earthquakes every other episode or every episode almost, I think we're gonna have a bit of issues. So let's wait for that to happen. And here we go.
An earthquake is occurring. Don't panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
I can't believe that it affected this area. And now it's going the other way. So I guess we just have to wait a little bit. And I think that's it. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna see what the report is. 33 citizens lost, 8 buildings destroyed, 1.5 kilometers of roads destroyed, and some buildings on fire. So the first thing that we're gonna do is make sure that this is a priority. Make sure that we are able to connect these roads. It wouldn't be such an issue because we still have this, and they could in theory use these roads to go back, but I don't want any issues. First, let's repair this. Let's see if we need to repair anything else. Let's just repair it. And let's just take a look at it. And another earthquake. Very, very interesting. Those are the only roads that we needed to repair. Now let's connect this. And let's get it to run. That way everything keeps on running a little bit smoother. What I think we should end up doing here is a big park. I'm gonna just try to repair this part after the helicopters from the disaster response unit arrive. Again, it's very interesting that we're having issues here. But it's very interesting. So we're gonna release all the citizens back again. I think the next thing that we need to do is try to build another suburb here. We decided not to use this for agriculture. We decided to do this as another suburb, so that's what I'm going to be working on, since that's what we're going to need here. I'm going to stretch this long avenue. Remember how we made this in the past episode, and I'm gonna bring it out up to here. I might want to keep on extending it, but I think this is fine for right now. Another thing that we might actually use this for, or maybe this is for forestry industry, that we said that we might wanted to use this. But we can use this for a nice nature reserve like this. With this one too, I'm gonna try to do another suburb, especially since it's outside of the city. the first thing that I do is kinda create a road that's parallel to the big avenue and leaving one square in the middle. And the reason why I do that is so that whenever I zone this area at the bottom with commercial, the noise doesn't affect the residential area right next to it. The other thing that you can do is zone for offices right behind the commercial, but sometimes that's a little bit it doesn't look that well in the town or in the area that you're trying to do, because that's usually not how things work in real life. And so in here we're just gonna try to do similar shapes as to what we were doing, which is kind of a square, but not really. And again, here you can go a little bit crazy with how you want your suburb to look. You know, there's no one right way, there's no wrong way. It should just work the way that you want it to. I'm gonna show you really quick what I'm gonna do. So now what I'm gonna try to do is to create the curves for these roads. I'm gonna show you how that's gonna work out. For example, here we're gonna do this here. This one is gonna go from here to here. As you can see, we already have a different shape. Kinda similar to what we did here, but I think it's working a little bit better because we have the square that's 90 degrees and not something that's a little bit more open. So we're gonna go here and here and try to close these ones up. Extend it a little bit. And in here, you know, it all depends how you want to do some of the other roads. So I try to make sure that you do things, or that I do things like this, that change a little bit how this is laid out, so it's not just like a little grid. And we can do the same here, the same thing maybe here. Changes the layout a little bit, doesn't make it too similar. And we can do something like that here. And from here, again, you know, it all depends how you want to do things. We can do this and it works pretty well. You know, it's a little bit different, and I think that it looks good enough for our little suburb. Make sure that we don't have any lights. I think this is gonna work really well. Again, in a little bit, maybe I'm gonna add another street here to go with the contour of this, but I don't know yet, because in the future I may want to change this because it looks kind of awkward, but not for right now. We should be fine. So the next thing that we need to do is make sure that there's water. And on this one, I'm also going to try to follow the ways of urban planning. That way we can start taking advantage of that. it works well. Like it's not that I don't like it. It's just again that I think the game at this point shouldn't be that much about laying down this type of resources. I think again that one of the things that SimCity did a little bit better was that not having to worry about laying down electricity or water. We're fine here. We are gonna have to build another a water pump and a drain pipe. So let's connect this one really quick. We'll do it from here to here. And before I forget, one and one. Now the next thing that we need to do is electricity. And I think this is gonna work for this right now. Okay, so now we're gonna be able to. So one of the things that I want to do is make sure that maybe we can lower the budget for water. Let's see if 85 makes a big dent on the availability. It's 280, and again we can monitor this as we keep going. And for electricity, we can do 5% less. Might not be that much, but you know it's gonna help you again get more money without having to wait that long. So let's start creating our district. I don't have a preference as to whether I keep the name of the district the way it's here or not. That's also up to you. The same way that I don't really care about the names for streets or avenues or anything like that. I think it's a great thing, you know, and something that SimCity 4 had that I think was pretty cool. But at least for me, it's not that necessary. You know, it's something that it doesn't really matter to me that much. And the next thing that we are gonna do is create sidewalks or pathways to walk. So I'm leaving 2 squares here because I usually tend to put some parking lots here. Since this is a crosswalk and people can go to the other side, that's what I like to do. Again, we haven't created those in the asset creator, but we will soon. And I'm gonna put another pathway, and instead of putting it in between, I'm gonna put it here where it's on the 4th square, because this space that's gonna be empty, we can use it to plant trees, which helps us lower the noise that travels to whenever we're playing. And in here we're just gonna put it up to here because I don't want to extend that much. We can put a pathway here. This looks really nice, so I think I'm just gonna leave it. And in the near future we can do a park, but not right now. I think that's gonna work well. And in order for us to get some electricity, I'm gonna put a little dog park. I'm gonna do it here. Let's make sure that there we go. So we have water, we have electricity, and I think I am gonna increase the electricity just by a little bit, like we had it. And let's see what type of policies we can establish here We should be fine with this. We don't have access to these two, which are some that I like. And so let's start zoning. I don't want to have any high density residential, so it's only going to be low density. I'm going to leave this square for services, and I'm just going to zone and zone and zone as much as I can, leaving our little park area there that I think is going to be pretty cool. That should be fine. Sometimes it's better to use the this tool, the brush, and sometimes it's better to use the fill. So again, it's preference. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's not, but it works really well. I do sometimes like to put some offices here, and then we can have the commercial zones and the residential zones. And let's just wait and see how long it takes for this area to fill up. Well, I think that it's coming out pretty nicely. This doesn't have electricity, but let's see if we can fix that really quick. And now there's a demand for industry. I'm gonna zone all this for, or use the side of the avenue for office zones. I think that's gonna look really nice. And I'm gonna zone this as high density commercial. And I forgot to take this off. Let me do that really quick. Stop. Stop. And let's watch this grow a little bit. Our little park has reached level 3. I think we're doing pretty well. The visitors keep increasing. There's not that much entertainment value, but I think we should be fine for now. There's no need to work on anything else. Let's see if we can pay this loan. We can pay it, okay. And now we can focus on something a little bit different. So I completely forgot about not zoning this, but thankfully there's not any houses. I think again the thing that's most needed is the fire department and a school. We can put this one here. Let's see what we can do. So this one, there's 2. It's 4, right? this. We should be fine for right now. Again, the most important thing is to have a firehouse. And I think just for the sake of it, if we can afford it, we can put a little, not the radio, but the earthquake sensor, and we're gonna put it here. And now we run almost out of money. Buy something else. So we are almost getting to small city. And we're gonna have a little bit more things that we don't have access to. For example, the train station. We don't have a railroad line here anywhere, so we don't have to worry about that right now. Or in this city, maybe in some other ones we will, but not right now. And I do wanna continue making this a little bit bigger. Let me see what we have access to. We still have the same. Let's see what we need to go to the next level. We need more workers, so let's try to see if we can put another one here. And let's expand this zone right here. Let's see if we can afford the flour mill. Yes, we can. So let's put it here. So we are going to change this to flour. And we should be fine for right now. I think we should be able to get a couple more. Let's just wait a couple of minutes. Maybe add another one here. But we don't have a, yeah, we don't have money. So let's put it there. Pears and apples with pears. Yeah. Definitely now we have the medium crop field, the lemonade factory, and the milking parlor. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money to do any of that, but these will work really well here, here, and one in the middle. So that's for that area. We're making good profit. We're selling animal products as well as just raw materials, and now we're also gonna have flour. And we finally got to small city. We have a lot of things that, again, unfortunately, we don't need, but it's always nice to get that recognition. We're still needing some industry or offices, and I think this should be enough for industry. I'm just gonna start zoning a little bit more for offices. And I will zone the rest of this. I didn't want to originally, but I think it works really well. It looks really nice. I don't see why we can't. And I'm also gonna zone this with high density. This little square. Again, I'm trying not to zone that much. This one has lowland values, so let's start working on this. I know we left it until the end. We need to rebuild the park, and that should help with the land value. Now let's continue with the rebuilding of the roads. But let's first even out this. let's see. We can fit the park like we did before. Yeah, it does, so that should be really good for that. Let's see what else we can do. Let's continue this road. Involved with that. I think that I am gonna get it with this one. So I'm gonna stop the game really quick. And when something like this happens, that there's a little stretch of road that doesn't fit with the squares, what I do is I delete it and I lay it down again. This is an issue when there's inclined roads like here, and I think it works really well. It kind of fixes itself. Again, it's one of the things that I don't understand why it happens, but I think it works really well. So now we have the full grid here without any issues. Let's see what other little shape we can do here. I think this should be fine. And let this go. Do this grid. Forgot to take these lights off. There we go. Let's zone this with low density and make sure that everything's fine. Let me see if I can. Let me try to even out the terrain here. That's gonna work really well. Let's lay down the road again and this part. And rezone. And that is nice. I am gonna take this off. Because what I think we should do in the not so distant future is to rezone all this as high density and then have this be a really nice park. Make sure that everything's should disappear a little. And what we can do in here in order to fill this, because I want to fill it with water and there's really no easy way to do it. We have this, which is the freshwater outlet. Sometimes things might get flooded a little bit. Again, it all depends. It all depends how things work. So we can put it in here. Make sure that it's connected. And we're not gonna do this all the way right now. But we can put a little bit of trees, and that way we cover it and you can barely see it, especially from afar. So maybe we can put a little of this here. There you go. And as you can see, it's now filling it up really well, and the reason why is so that whenever we build our park here, we can actually use this. Otherwise, it doesn't, it's not gonna work. Works here because there's water. But that's about it. Otherwise it wasn't gonna work. So the thing that we need to be on the lookout for is to make sure that this doesn't flood, because that would be a big issue. But I don't think so, since it's gonna be more than likely to this level, so we should be fine. We can even make this a little bit bigger or a little bit better, but I think it's gonna work really well once we start zoning it correctly. We have some trees, and I think things like that is what makes a zone different. You know, things like adding these type of things. Now that you have this big opening, this fault that opened here, we can make sure that we can use it properly, and it would be nice as a memorial park if you wanna call it that way. And let's just make sure that everything is running smoothly. I think we don't have any issues here. We're fine. Electricity, we're fine. Water, we're fine. Garbage, I think that's what we're gonna be struggling with right now. So again, because we are still not able to make that much money, or I'm just gonna put it here and build 1 and 2. Even though it's not gonna be enough, because it's gonna be 72 units capacity, we're still like almost halfway through. But it's gonna work for now. And with 37, we are able to not build this big university, much less this one, or a large campus, but I think a faculty will work really, really well in this area. And I'm just gonna put it I'm just gonna put it. I really like this little building. It helps again because you're not gonna be putting universities or colleges in every single suburb that you create, but I think this would be good enough, especially since I'm more than sure we have the capacity for it. You know, there's more than enough eligible adults that need to get educated, but again, I think it's gonna work for right now until we decide where we can build a big university, which I'm sure it can be in this area. What are they complaining about? Not enough customers. I think we should be fine for it. So in this case, I am gonna de-zone these ones and just zone them with offices, and hopefully that can change a little bit the dynamic of this. There's enough traffic, but again, you know, it all depends what the actual demands are for the city. Let's see what they're complaining about here. Not enough educated workers. Again, now that we have the little faculty here, I think we should be able to get some educated workers around the city. And so I think our next goal right now should be to create the bus depot, but I do wanna put in here a post office and another one here. Just put it here. And that should work really, really well. Let's see what the complaint is here. Not enough customers. Not enough educated workers. Yeah. So little by little, you know, as the city grows, that's what I was talking about when I mentioned, you know, try not to place everything that you get right away because your budget is not gonna allow it. And so that's one of the reasons why. And right now we're gonna plateau yields for a little bit, but that means that we can little by little see what we need to do, what we need to increase, or what we need to change. And I think that hopefully when we get to big city, you know, we're gonna get another square to buy. It's gonna take a little bit, but we're gonna get another square. And I think we're gonna have to get this one here, so we can continue our road, and this road too, and we can hook up to this side of the area. As we can see, the fishing harbor is working really well. The pollution hasn't gotten here yet, but I'm more than sure that within the next couple of episodes it will. So we need to start figuring out whether we want to start another fishing area here, and I think this would be a good place. That way we can put it here. We have the anchovy and we have the salmon, which doesn't work here yet. So I think if we put a couple of them here, we can hook them up with a road from here. So I think it's gonna work really, really well. So yeah, there should be no issues. And since the current seems to be going from here to here, I think we shouldn't have any issues. This is 8. We can try to at least put 2 of them right now. Let's see, we can do one here. And we can do one. How much is this? This is 14. Let's do one here. Let's hook them up. Put this one up too. There you go, we should be fine. It's looking pretty good. Let's first of all make sure that there's water available to them. And this one is just going to be like this. And electricity, thankfully we have this thing here. And that way we can focus on the route that this is going to take. So let's see, we can go this way. I'm more than sure that should be enough. Let's see if we can fix this one. So it's here. There you go. Let's try to speed this up to see how well or how bad the route is. I think this one's gonna have to be a little bit bigger. I think both of them need to be just a little bit bigger, especially this one. So let's see that. And let's try to this one. Yeah, I think this one might be a little bit too big, but I think it's better to just... Yeah, that one definitely works well. Let's see... this one. Yeah, also works well. It's always a little bit of an issue. I think that's also a little bit of a hassle to not have the route tell you know you're about 90% or 70% or whatever. I think that's a bit of an issue, but you know, otherwise it's something that you don't have to do all the time. I do want some of this to clean up the water, but I think we should be fine again for now. We might have forgotten about the water here, so let's make sure that all of these have water. There you go. And so we were able to fix the area here that had been destroyed. As you can see, these filled out really, really nice. I don't think that it's gonna overflow, but we still need to be on the lookout for it. As you can see, there's water here. Clean water, of course. And as long as this doesn't overflow, I think we should be fine. I think that on the next episode we should try to make this the park, even though I wanted to wait to make this high density, but I think that's what we're gonna do on the next episode. Make sure that at least a good part of this is high density, especially so that those people in the high rises can take advantage of the park. Again, I need to make sure that this is going to be contained, and so far it looks pretty good. We did put a faculty here. And the only other thing that I want to do before the end of this episode, see in here it's already having issues with crime. Let's make sure. Water, I'm going to increase the budget just to make sure that we are not going to have issues. Yeah, that's going to work fine for now. And let's take a look at crime. Yeah, we might need to put the police station, and that's also going to increase the... It's going to increase the land value. And I am going to zone these little keys as high density. And again, the last thing that I want to do right now, even though I don't think we have enough money, but we're going to take a little loan because I do want the biofuel bus depot. So let's take the little loan, 20,000. We should be able to pay it off really quick. I will put this here. Okay. Now let's lay down some bus routes. And this is one of the things that I love about this game. You know, the fact that you can draw your lines, you know, as opposed to games such as SimCity or SimCity 4 even, that you couldn't draw your own routes. And in this game it's just great that you can. So the first one that I am gonna just do this real quick. And again, one of the negatives is that there's no U-turns for a lot of things. Okay. So the first one that I'm gonna trace down is here for this main avenue. We're gonna have a stop here. Again, not to put them too close to each other, but also not too far. And I think that's it for right now. Let me move this a little more. There we go. Let's put this one here. There you go. Sometimes it's just weird how to place them when the road is kind of long. The other one that we're gonna do is here. So we're gonna put one here, that one here. And here. So we'll put it here. And the way the way that I laid them down is, if this road is going this way and this road is going that way, have it either on one side and then the one that runs on the other side have it across, if it makes any sense, like here. We also want to put another one here, so I'm going to do it here, here, and here. And on this one I'm going to put it on the same side, on the same state, so let's bring it. Go here, here, here. It's gonna be the third one, third one, third one, here, here, and here. I am gonna put a big line. To me, I'm just gonna put it here and then go back, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this side. So I'm gonna put it here and here and then back. And once we get enough money, I would like to get the inner city bus station, which basically allows, since we don't have trains, we don't have railroads, we can put it here, and that way we can put all the lines to come here, as opposed to just on the road. And for right now, let's just change the colors. And I usually like to go as the color is going down. Sometimes I do like to rename them. Sometimes, you know, it works really well. Let's do a little bit more red. And that way you can see how things are working. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have the 5 lines. And maybe in the next episode we can try to do a little small line here to go around, and so that people can take the bus here. And as you can see, they're already lining up. Wow, that's a lot of people. This is the yellow line, and there's already 232 people queuing up, even though we don't have big issues with traffic. So this line has 27 vehicles. That's also another thing that I don't find that realistic with this game. That little biofuel bus depot can hold that many buses. So this one I'm just gonna half it. I think 27 is an overkill, especially when 14 can hold about 400 people. And you know, I think it's gonna work really well once the cycles start working out. Let's see, this orange line, it's 5. I think it's gonna work really well. This one is also 5, and we might want to increase it, especially because it's gonna be a bit, so I'm gonna increase it with 2 more. This blue one should be fine. And let's just pause this really quick. And this one has 22 vehicles. I think we're also gonna have it. Okay. And so what I thought was gonna happen happened. So I think there's something else we can do here. Let's just save the game really quick. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna destroy this. And I'm gonna do this. So that the water runs down this little canal, which we do have canals, but I don't like to deal with it that much. Let's see, there you go. So this should be more than enough. Okay. So now we are going to continue. So what I'm gonna have to do is let this run. There's still access to do that, so let's see if we can. There you go. It's a little bit too weird, but I think it works well for now. We'll figure out how to fix it later on. Again, since we don't have any mods, this works a little bit weird. This should be able to be right up. Let's try to not have it that close. There you go. And yes, I know this is going to be a bit of an issue, but yeah, I think it's going to work really well for now. definitely looks really nice, at least in my opinion. We could definitely work with these type of walls, but I don't think I don't think we need it right now, although in here it wouldn't be a bad idea. To work something like this. And you can still put this here. Actually looks really nice. We can think about it. Again, this is gonna be a small park, so I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. But that's something for us to think about within the next couple of episodes. So just to summarize, we did have another disaster, another earthquake hit this Briar Rose Square. We created yet another suburb here, which we still need to upgrade the roads to bike lanes. We added a whole big district with office buildings, which look really nice. Our agriculture zone keeps growing. But I think more importantly, we built a biofuel bus depot in order to connect the city a little bit better, and that way people can move easier, and it's easier for people to go work from one area to the other. And we also created a new little area for fishing, since I think we're gonna have to move this in the next episode. So I think we're doing well. I do want to get to the next milestone so we can buy another square, and so we can move the industrial area or put the industrial area in another place. Because I don't think we should wait that much longer to rezone this and create this into a nice park, or at least we can do half of it. I think doing it half wouldn't be such a bad deal. And I think that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, as always, you have the comments here to do so. And I want to thank you for watching this video, liking, subscribing, and commenting. Until next episode. Thank you.